Hello and welcome back to another issue of non-first appearance key issues. This is going to be a weekly series I'm going to do for a while. I've got some pretty good ideas up here I want to do with it, so just something. I hope you enjoy it, and so let's get into it. So part of collecting key issues is defining the word key. What makes it a key? And a lot of people, that just means, oh, the book's worth more money. But why is it worth more money? Got to look into that. So first appearances are the main thing, right? You know, the first appearance of any character tends to put a little more emphasis on that book. Even if it's a character that never's seen again. You know, if they're going to sell a book, they say, hey, this is the first appearance out. So there's different ways to collect, right? Some people just collect a character. Well, not everything about that character's key issues are going to be first appearances. Okay, because if you're just collecting first appearances and you're collecting, you know, so for today's episode, Daredevil. If you're collecting Daredevil, you know, the Silver Age series really wasn't, after you get out of the first 10, it's really not a lot of money books. They're all kind of, you know, they're Silver Age books, but they're not, you know, it's not like Spider-Man or X-Men or Fantastic Four where there's a lot of key issues and stuff. So really, when you get into the Bronze Age and beyond, so let's look at some Daredevil keys, why they're keys, and they have nothing to do with first appearances. Doesn't mean they don't have anything to do with firsts. I want to make sure I say that. So the first one I'll look at here is Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, number 27. It's a really nice copy. I'm pretty happy with this copy. The artwork is really, the colors are fantastic. Why is this key? Some of you are saying, is this because Daredevil's guest appearing in Spider-Man? No. It is the first time Frank Miller did artwork on Daredevil. Now, it's not the Daredevil series, but it's the first time he drew in the Marvel Universe, Daredevil. So, because of that, this book brings a little bit more of a premium. A real high-grade copy is going to cost you, you know, 40, 50, 60 bucks. A mid-grade copy, and I'd say this is more of a mid-grade than a high-grade copy. This book right here would probably run you 10 to 15 bucks. Raw, like this. A slab copy, you know, more. But Frank Miller is known for Daredevil. At the point that Frank Miller took over the Daredevil run in issue number 158. So this is the first issue Frank Miller takes over this run. I looked for this book for a long time, and I got to be honest, I feel like I got a pretty good 8.0 to 9.0 grade here, and I'm really happy with this book for what I paid too. But this is a Frank Miller book, and his first work on this, and his run is legendary. His run on Daredevil, and that book was getting canceled. Let's be honest. I mean, it wasn't a good book. It was getting canceled, and he brought it back. He made it what it is today. And people think of Daredevil, they think of that run. They think of everything to do with this run. Him and Bullseye and Elektra and the whole 9 yards. I mean, in fact, I would say, money-wise, outside of Daredevil number 1, the Frank Miller run's the run to get. I mean, Daredevil number 1 is worth more than that whole run. But if you're interested in reading and learning about it, the Frank Miller Daredevil run might be one of the best runs in comic books in the Marvel Universe, as far as an artist / writer with a storyline and with the covers. And so that brings me, so you have an artist is connected to a character, you know, so, you know, that makes these books keys. And don't listen, these characters are great, but without the artist, they're nothing, right? So when you have that, Steranko is really well known for Nick Fury. His first time drawing Nick Fury is a key. Todd McFarlane's first time drawing Spider-Man is a key. Those first time artists with the character they're most known for. And in my opinion, Frank Miller's in Marvel most known for Daredevil. In his later years, he's done some Batman, but I don't think his Batman stuff, and I haven't read it, but I don't see people say that his Batman stuff is as big as his Daredevil stuff, is as good, I should say. Not as big, but is as good. And this brings me to the last first appearance key issue. Daredevil 181. The Death of Elektra. Classic cover. I mean, it's a really high-grade copy. I have 2 copies of this book. One is signed by Stan Lee. Don't ask, it's a long story, but this is the one not signed. This is a classic cover. There's been homages done to it. In my opinion, one of the 50 greatest Marvel covers of all time. Deaths can be a key. They're not as key. The Death of Superman was printed. A million copies of that got printed. They're in dollar bins. It's not a key issue. Plus, he's alive. He's not dead. He's not really dead. So it's not a key issue. Elektra died. She came back, but her death was significant. To this day, it's still significant. It's what made her part of the Hand. And you saw that in Marvel's Defenders. On TV, if you watched the series, you saw that she died, and you saw that she came back. She was kind of a different person. The Hand brought her back. And that's what this is. This is extremely significant. The death of Captain Marvel, he never really came back. I mean, they have had different Captain Marvels, but he never really came back. The death of Thunderbird is another death where the person never came back. And I'm not going to go through them all, but this is in my opinion, it's a major Marvel key. You can get this from anywhere from $20 to $100, depending on grade. If it's graded, signed, stuff like that. I mean, it's not going to cost you, as much as a Giant Size X-Men #1. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to cost you as much as a first appearance of Morbius or even a first appearance of any of these characters. But it's still going to cost you some money. You're not going to generally find this in dollar bins. I mean, I'm of a believer that you can find everything in a dollar bin if you find the right dollar bin. But generally speaking, if you go to a convention, you're not going to find this in a dollar bin unless it has condition issues. So, it's when you're talking Daredevil, I think these are 3 very, very significant books. If you're a Daredevil collector, these are 3 books that should be on your wish list. And I want to put a definition out there for first appearance because I kind of toyed with it. Because Daredevil #7, which is a book I recently bought, is the first appearance of the red suit. That's a first appearance. If it's a first appearance, it's a first appearance of Xavier's Mansion is a first appearance. So I decided not to include them at this time. I think first appearance of characters is what I'm mostly basing this on. But, at this time, I may do a video along the lines of that down the line. But for right now, for the Daredevil, I was looking at the Frank Miller artwork, and that being the reason they're key. So I'm gonna give you one good shot left of these. Classic. God, I love that cover. Frank Miller is just a man. And then, of course, the best cover of the 3, in my opinion. All right. Thank you for tuning in for another episode. See you next time.